when we last left, I shared my desire to become an instant expert on climate change and women, at least the best that I could. So let's see where we are. I want to go from this to this. And how am I going to do it? I am going to use my media coaching tools on me. I work with people to do media interviews, right? I've told you about that. So I'm going to do those things that I do on myself. Here we go. So here's my media coaching tools. First, I help people figure out what their win-win is. And I'll tell you exactly what I mean by that. I figure out what I, or you, the speaker, need to get out of this interview or this presentation. What do you want? What's your end goal? So that I call that the WIN, what I need. The second is to figure out what does your audience need? So I'm thinking of you. What do you, my message receiver, need? And that's WYN, what you need. And that is win. So once you have those, and it takes, a few minutes to figure out, I'm going to show you one way I did it. Once you have those, you can do I'll put myself over here. You can do the next step, which is to create talking points, which aren't just talking points, but which are what I call easy R. And easy R means easy for the audience to receive, take them in, remember, and repeat. That is the most important thing. And I'm going to give you some examples of that. So here's my win-win for this particular thing, talking to the media about climate change. First of all, what I need is I need to give you a reason to come to the march. And I want to use climate change as at least one of those reasons. The second thing is I want you to understand a little bit about that there is a connection between women and climate change, which is different than men and climate change. And third, I want you to feel and believe that your marching makes a difference. So does marching make a difference? Does physically going down and putting your legs one in front of the other? It's not that. It's your connection and contact with other women. It's your inspiration by being together with people and hearing lots of awesome speakers. And we have at our Women's March an activist fair, which means you can go to this fair and see lots of tables that are going to help you figure out how to get involved. So marching is good, but we want you to get involved after, but marching will help you with that. The second thing I want to think about is the WYN. What do you need out of this interview when you're just listening on the radio or television? You need a reason to get out on a cold Saturday and go downtown, park your car, deal with crowds, and march. The tendency may be to stay home, do chores, etc. I need to give you a reason to get over that. The second thing is I want you to feel a little bit smarter about women and climate change. We like to feel smarter about something, and none of us have time or the inclination to go to the library or sit in front of a computer all day. So I want you to feel like you have some insight, and I want you to feel like you can share those insights. That's key. The third thing is to believe that you have an opportunity to act for women and climate change by marching. And I've talked about the role of marching. So I want you to feel like you want to do it, you want to share what you know, and it makes a difference to do it. All right, let's now talk about, and I'll put myself down here, what happens with this easy to receive, easy to remember, easy to respond. So there's my logo for my Women's March there. Pioneer Valley. And you can see we might have 3 points, right? We might have 3 points about the Women's March, or I might have 3 points that I want to make about women and climate change. That's my particular focus here. But whatever you have, you probably have 3 points at the most you want people to remember. So what we want to do is make those points easy to go right into the brain and then to lodge inside that brain to stick there so they're sticky. Then we want you to be able to repeat them. So we want to make it as easy as possible for you to feel smarter, for you to share your wisdom with others, and for you to have to do as little work as possible. Here's what makes things easy to remember, repeat, and retain for most people. First of all, the news or points should be surprising. People pay more attention to what they're surprised by. It doesn't have to be all surprising, because that would be too much surprise, but you want it to be adequately surprising. You want some news there, right? Like a newspaper. The second thing, and this is crucial, it's got to be visual. You have got to be able to make pictures of what you're saying so the audience can make those pictures in the brain. So it's crucial that you have concrete imagery when you're talking rather than abstraction. And I'm going to show you an example of that later. Also, it's simple, and this is extremely important and challenging with climate change. Must be simple. If not, we have mental shutdown and nothing will get through. It's got to be relatable, which is a little bit of the challenge when we're talking about international global change, problems in Africa, problems in Asia. They're not always similar to problems that we might have in the United States. So we're going to talk about how to make things relatable. And finally, it feels urgent. So I am going to try to create points that will address all those, and I'm going to then massage them so they're even better. And I want you to come along with me on this process. When I work with clients, they know their subject matter. I do not. So for my clients, they have to just think about all the stuff they know and then put it together in a package, and that's what I help them do. But I don't have anything, so that means I have to go and Google. Click for the next video and you can see my research journey.